I asked this 26-year-old dude, what were your concerns before getting coaching? And he told me three things. First, he said he does not believe in Daygame. He doesn't think Daygame actually works, but he was willing to give it a shot. Second, he wasn't actually sure whether this isn't a scam. And the third thing, he didn't believe in structured Daygame. He thought, why would he have to use a structure to talk to girls? A week later, he had 2 Daygame lays and a near miss with an 18-year-old model. And this is the story how he got there. In this podcast episode, you will learn things you can copy and use in your game. For example, how structured approach to Daygame, something he didn't believe in, was the key to how he got his first Daygame lay after only 42 approaches, his second Daygame lay after 21 more approach, and he ended up at his apartment with an 18-year-old hot model that he didn't unfortunately get laid with after only 16 more approaches. As usual when having guests on, this interview is audio only to preserve the privacy of my guests. And before we jump in, a few quick updates about coaching spots. I and one of my closest Daygame friends, Mr. T, with who I've been on a bunch of adventures and we've done a bunch of podcast episodes together, will be in the same city from mid-August to mid-September. So if you want to join us for some adventures, there is a coaching spot available in this city at that time. After that, I have a few coaching spots left available in Europe in September and October. I don't plan specific Daygame cities because I don't do group bootcamps. All coaching is one-on-one. I hop on a call with everyone who's considering getting coaching, and then we pick the best location and time to do this depending on the needs of the student. And in January, I'm planning to go to Mexico, to one of my favorite Daygame cities in the world, for a few weeks. I know it's very far away, but I will only have 2 coaching spots available there. And because it's so close to the US, I'm sure these coaching spots will be gone months before I go there. You can find all the details about how coaching usually works, the approximate pricing, and also schedule a free call so we can talk details by clicking the link in description titled Daygame Coaching. But if you want to understand whether my style of coaching actually will help you, then you can do a test coaching call with an 80% discount for only €100. I do up to 3 coaching calls like that each month. You can find all the details and book your call by clicking the link in description titled Double Your Numbers and Dates. And now let's jump into the interview. Okay, Raymond, let's start with a bit of background information. Tell guys a bit about yourself. Where you're from, approximately how old are you, what do you do, the basic stuff.
So I'm from Switzerland, but I'm also half Asian, and I'm in my mid-20s. I'm just about to get out of uni and kind of in the transition between uni life and the real world. And I also have my own little business where I do YouTube on the side. I've automated a few channels and they are making passive income for me. So it allows me to, travel quite a lot.
Yeah, because when we met, I knew what you do for a living, but turns out you're considering going nomadic right now. So we're gonna talk about that at the end of the podcast. And yeah, you're really young you're on the younger age for a typical student that I have, because the guys are from maybe early 20s all the way to 50s. So mid 20s is sort of a younger range, and there are really some big cons on that, which we will talk about because it was very helpful for you. Okay, how much Daygame experience did you have before we met?
Not too much, to be honest. I've seen quite a few videos and from different YouTube videos, Instagram Reels. It is quite prevalent, I'd say. If you search for it, you'll find it. But I've never had proper coaching or anything like that. I was just doing an approach here or there throughout years, say in a 5-year span, I had maybe 5 approaches or something.
Yeah, so 1 a year.
Yeah, basically.
So you're putting in really good volume.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Okay, so yeah, almost no experience. Theory wise, did you know much about theory before we met, or?
A little bit, but nothing in depth. I knew you should approach, but
you didn't know how or
not
what
really
to say.
Exactly what to say. There was no structure or anything to it. It was just kind of, go up and say you're cute, and I don't know, the rest you just gotta like wing it more or less.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, why doesn't this work? Because
Yeah.
I hear these stories from my girlfriend all the time. Like she once in a while gets approached and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, what happened? What did what? Like tell me everything, like
Yeah.
step by step. And it's always hilarious. And other girls who told me those stories. So okay, so you arrived with apart from the preparation, because you did a little preparation for coaching,
Mhm.
apart from that, you had done 5 approaches over 5 years. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was not an over exaggeration. That's like
No,
a real number.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you do? You tried approaching a little bit on your own, these 5 approaches. So how did you do when you tried it a few times?
Like I just struggled really hard to like get over approach anxiety because I just don't consider it to be like a normal thing to do. Although I found it like quite cool to see other people doing it, I just didn't think like it's something I could do or like I really want to do because I don't see anyone in my social circle doing it, in my wider social circle even, like just no one does it who I know who has like some sort of reputation like in uni or whatever. So that's why like I just never really considered it.
So where do you think these beliefs come from?
It's just from probably also the parents, but like just in general, my environment, like they just give me that.
Yeah, because your environment is uni.
Yeah.
That's what you see. You see what people in the university do, and obviously people there, just they mingle. But then we chatted with you on one of the coaching days about that you're already seeing what happens once you get out of uni, and you've seen what your friends are going through when it comes to dating when they go out of uni.
Yeah. Like that was actually my main motivation to even get into the call. Because I just had like exactly like that conversation with a few of my friends who got out of uni. And basically, like their dating life just dropped off a cliff because like they have to rely entirely on online dating, and yeah, like online dating is kind of a shit show because obviously like you can get matches and such, but like it's just not the quality you want. You have to like text them all the time. Like most of them aren't responsive. It's just like very annoying for like the effort you have to put in. Like the reward isn't really worth it.
And that's for guys who are your age, mid-20s. So what happens, when they get like my age or older? I mean,
Yeah. I don't even like want to imagine.
Yeah, but now, yeah. So I think it's very valuable that you had this. You had an early glimpse about what happens when you go from the university kind of environment to the kind of the life after university, where hey, like a lot of things change.
Yeah.
And dating is one of the things that really change a lot. So, why did you decide to get coaching?
Because I feel like I really want to like meet quality women. And now that like I'm going out of university, I don't want to be like my friends who are like now just half a year dateless or something like that. Like literally
Half a
like
year.
that. Yeah. That's like how some of them are going through. And I was like, no, fuck this. Like I'm not gonna be one of those guys. Like I'm gonna tackle this properly. If it like won't if I'm no longer in that like easy environment where everyone is open to do that, I need to find a different way to like try to get to know girls. And
Yeah, it's very smart. You tried, you saw what happens when you do what everyone else does. You say, hey, it doesn't work. I'm going to do something else. So, but why coaching? Why not do this on your own? Was it just because of approach anxiety or?
it was also approach anxiety, but also I feel like it just helps you to actually do it properly. Because like just going out and like doing the stuff by yourself, like sure, you're approaching, but like you're not really like doing it properly. Like especially like in the beginning of like our coaching sessions, I really like saw the difference like between just randomly approaching. Like sure, if you walk up, that's like overcoming approach anxiety, but like that's just the first small step in it. Like there's so much more that comes after that where you can like fuck up or like which you have to do like all the steps you have to follow. So like approach anxiety is like the smallest part of the puzzle and it's just the first piece which you have to lay, and then like there's so much more to it.
Yeah, but do you remember how when we were sort of talking about we had like 2 calls before we met, and you were sort of like you were just concerned about approach anxiety. It was like, hey, I want to deal with this, and Yeah, you thought that was gonna be like the biggest problem, but I told you, like, dude, by the end of first day, you're not gonna worry about approach anxiety anymore. You're gonna approach like 20 chicks on day one, like, and that's it. And that's what happened. You approached. Let me tell you, I have stats in front of me: 23 chicks on the first day, and you had already 4 contacts from that on the first day. Yeah. Uh, um. So obviously you had to make a decision. Hey, am I ready to do this? And this isn't like getting good day game coaching isn't something that costs like 100 or 500 euro. Like it costs a decent chunk of money. So I'm just curious. Were there any concerns that you had before maybe signing up or before showing up for coaching, or any concerns about coaching?
Like, obviously there were concerns because, like, I don't know if it's worth my money because, like, I'm spending like time and money to actually fly out to this place. And then also, do we actually work together well? Like, I've done like other coaching before, which have worked like so. Like, I've always taken some value out of it. That's why I'm like less desensitized towards like actually taking on coaching. But still, like, I had my concerns like coming here. But like after day one, I was just like, okay, nah, this is cool. Like, I think like we work well together and it actually helps me a lot. Like, I've learned so much, which if I would have done it by myself, like it would have taken me like ages. Like, or like if even I would have even gotten like to a level like after day one, I'd say. Cause like just giving me like that structure, like we will get into that more in that later, I think. But like just giving me that structure alone, I think if I wouldn't have someone telling me, no, stick to the fucking structure, I would not do it. Cause like I'm a very like creative person. I try to like just try out different things. Like after one thing has worked, I'm like, okay, it works. And then I try something else. And it's actually better, like, which I've seen over like this week that, yeah, drill something specifically in, like get good at that specific thing and then move on like to the next points.
Yeah, move on to that.
Yeah.
Move on to okay. This question you can answer absolutely honestly. Honestly, I don't. I'm personally curious, and
Yeah.
so let's say out of your expectations, hey, what could coaching be like? What would coaching be like? And if you imagine like the best case scenario is like 10 out of 10, what was the real experience? Like 1 to 10. You know what I mean with this question? So the best case scenario is, hey, coaching is going to be like this. This is like what I said as like, hey, this is like perfect. This is like 10 out of 10. So what was the real experience compared to that? What do you imagine it could be the best case scenario? So what was the reality like?
It was actually like very close to a 10 out of 10 for me personally, because just all the feedback I got, it helped me so much because I need honest feedback to work on. I work very well if I get like credible, like honest feedback because I can implement stuff like that very quickly if I feel like it makes sense. And yeah, like the feedback you gave always made sense to me. I was like, okay, this makes sense. I will try it out. And the results speak for themselves then. Like, I always got better reactions or like longer conversations out of it. It was, yeah, step by step building process.
It was basically, you did the thing,
yeah,
and instantly saw improvements. Did the thing, instantly saw improvements. Yeah, that was very interesting. Your ability to learn and implement that advice. I was surprised by it because you had like some glimpses of. It looked like insecurity, but it's something else. We talked about it. You said, no, it's not really insecurity. So there's something that made you kind of speak quietly and be a bit like appear as if you are insecure. Yeah. But then, and I thought, okay, this might be a little bit hard. But then I saw, oh, damn, I told him to do that and he's doing that. And I told him to do this and he's doing that. And then you were remembering so many things in a row that you have to do, like thing 1, thing 2, 3, like if this, then that, if that, then do this. And so it was actually very impressive that your ability to follow advice and then implement it right in the next day game approach. So you're actually very good at learning things, following advice.
Yeah, that's why I like coaching, because like it helps me just like it puts me on a path, so to say. Like obviously I will not like follow it rigidly forever,
of course,
but like it's just something to like get you started. And like I usually try to like take that advice, I heed it, like even though I don't feel like it might not, or like I don't necessarily agree with it, I will just try it out and see, like, yeah, put it into action to see.
So my advice would be follow the model until you get to 30 Daygame. Because by that time, guys usually get bored from doing the same thing, and it's one thing to do the same, to do like the same type of stop for hundreds of times. Who cares? You can keep doing that. It's still interesting. You can change the stop or not. It doesn't matter. But you get bored from doing the same shit on the dates. And even though you're getting laid, but it becomes really repetitive. You know what to do in all scenarios on dates. And this happens around 30 Daygame lists where guys are like, fuck this, I'm going to start experiment. And they start developing their own style of game. All at once, Daygamers go through this phase where they experiment with this, experiment with that, and they find things that work for them. They usually go too far off structure, and then they come back to structure. Is this big balance? But added like 20 more layers, and that's when they have polished, and they have some things that are very structured, some things that they developed on their own, and then they have like a nice middle ground. Any other concerns you had when coming for coaching or when deciding whether this is a good idea?
I didn't really believe in Daygame actually at the beginning. Like I was like, does it actually work? But I was willing to give it a try since it is like quite a big thing, and I find the idea also quite charming. So to say that you just walk up to someone like in the middle of the street during the day, especially, like you don't need to waste your night away like in a loud ass club or a bar environment, like which I am used to. Like I know those places, like I go to them quite frequently, but just I'm also seeing kind of the downside of that world, and I'm like trying to find, what else is there? And that's how I got to Daygame. And although I didn't really believe in it, I still was willing to like take this leap of faith, take the coaching, like so I can do it properly and see how it works.
I will read a message that you sent to me.
Oh, really?
I will read a message. Wait, I'll find it. Wait. That was about that lay or no lay, but fuck, where is it? This is July 23rd, almost 8 a.m. Yo, Robert. Also got to lay with a German girl. Just brought her back now. Will never doubt Daygame ever again. Okay, since you started with, you were some concerns about coaching, some concerns about Daygame. Any other concerns you had before jumping in the gun?
Like, I had like a slight monetary concern, just like, is it worth my price or not? Or like the price that it costs?
Yeah.
Because, it is an investment into yourself. Like, do I want to take my hard-earned money, like, to spend it on 1 week?
Yeah.
Where I don't know, like, will it actually help me, or was it just like gonna be a scam? So to say? Like, it's like a valid concern, I'd say.
It is a valid concern, especially in this industry.
Yeah.
Because this industry is like fitness, making money, and dating. Those are 3 scammy industries in the world. And I'm someone who doesn't post infields. Yeah. And then so it's like, hey, is this guy even legit? Okay. You can again answer honestly. Was it worth the money?
Yes. 1 week in now, I have to say, like, I'm very glad I spent this money. I'm even willing to like continue the coaching because I just saw the value I got out of it. And that's what I need to like keep going on this track. Like I was quite successful for this week and I want to keep at it. I want to like keep improving in this space because I feel like it is actually like a life-changing thing.
Yeah.
Like it opens so many doors and possibilities. Like it gives you like so many like great connections with girls as well. Like it's not just like to fuck them. Like it's also just like having the connection, like having cool dates, like going on like small little adventures through the city or whatever. Like those are all like options which previously would have probably just been shut to you. And those are all like spontaneous occurrences as well. Like they're just not like planned where you're like on a Tinder date. You're like, oh, let's go out, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it will work out or not. Like it's just out of the moment and it's like living life like at the fullest. That's why like I'm so happy I did it.
So on the second day of coaching, we were walking around doing the sets and then it was towards the end of our second session of the second day. And just as you said, a spontaneous thing happened. So what happened on the second day of coaching?
So it was like the very last approach. Like we were about to head home. Like, I think it was actually quite a good session overall. Like, I got pretty good reactions, and like, I think my vibe was getting, like, I felt more confident doing it at least. Like,
Yeah.
I think the first day I was very, like, a bit nervous. I didn't really pause. Like, I was very, like, jumpy. But yeah, towards the end of the second day, I was getting, like, quite comfortable doing it. Like, I knew what to say. I was kind of, like, more in a structured way. And yeah, the very last approach, this girl was not doing anything. Like, she had nothing planned. She was kind of like just on her way home. It was Saturday evening, nothing planned. So you were like behind me with the sign, like, yo, Insta date. And I was like, yeah, let's go. And that worked out. She came along. She was quite happy to go on it. Like, we had like a fun night, and yeah.
We had a fun night.
Yeah.
And that's how you got your first Daygame lane.
Yeah.
Second
On the
day of
second
coaching.
day of
Second
coaching.
day of coaching.
So
any challenges that happened there, or was it all smooth sailing?
it was mostly quite smooth sailing, I'd say. Like, she was quite into it, I'd say. Like, she also told me, like, she likes that I approached her. Like, it's not something that happens too often. Like, at least in the way I did it. Like, she said she's been approached before, like in clubs and such, but that's not the same thing. So yeah, with her, very little resistance. Like, she was just like down. I think I led all right as well. So like, we just went to like different venues, which she suggested, and yeah, like hopped around, made some pictures as well. It was fun.
Yeah, very, very nice. I went home and I'm like, I'm telling the man, hey, man, the student is fucking on a night date. Let's see what happens. Let's see whether he gets the same day lay. And well, yeah. So there was a big sort of shift between a lot of progress between your first approaches and then getting the same day lay at the end of the second day of coaching. So what would you say were the main lessons you learned from the beginning until getting the first lay?
Good stop is like the main first thing. Like, you need to be able to get them to stop. And that starts by being somewhat energetic. So like, actually running in front of them. Cause like, I've actually done some like weaker approaches in the beginning where I just kind of came in from the side. And they actually didn't stop. They just keep going. And that was like a big revelation. I was like, oh, holy shit. Like, you actually need to like run in front of them. And it's a scary thing to do, you know, like just like blocking someone's way, sort of. Like, it's not something like a normal person would just do. Or like, if someone would do it, it's mostly like scammers or like people who want to sell you like random shit on the street.
So let me stop you here because I want to ask a bit more. This is so common because when guys come for coaching, a lot of they know a lot of theory, yeah. But then when they see, oh, this is how it's actually done, so you knew what a Daygame stop should look like, right? At least in theory. So what was the difference between what you thought a Daygame stop should be and what it actually has to be for it to work? So what was the difference?
You need to be loud enough for her to even notice you. And it takes energy. Like, you need to actually commit to it. You need to get in front of her. Like, because like just seeing something, you're like, oh, that sounds so easy. Like, you just walk in front of her. But like, actually doing it, it's not as easy as it seems. Like, you could approach too close to her. Like, you might scare her off. Like, some of the girls like I approached, they were like, well, what the fuck? Like, where did this guy come from? Like, so like, these are just like all like things. Like, if she's startled by you in the beginning, like for the rest of the conversation to go well is unlikely unless she's super into your looks or whatever, like, or she's just like super down and she was waiting for this like her whole life. I don't know.
We didn't have a scenario where she ever was startled, but if it ever happens, your job is to just be absolutely non-reactive. You do your thing, you stay super calm, and when she sees you're super calm, she's gonna chill out. She's gonna say, oh, it's okay. Or you can even say, oh, sorry, I scared you. I completely fucked up your day. Oh my God. Anyways, you know, I just saw you and I had to say you're very cute.
Yeah.
You either call it out, but then you remain super calm and she's gonna step into your frame and gonna be super chill. What else did you learn? What other big lessons you had from the beginning until getting your first lay?
Pausing after the stop like not just because like in the beginning I just kind of like stopped and I was like trying to get everything out as quick as possible, like the opening line and such. And like I was talking very fast as well, which isn't how I usually talk, I'd say. Like I think I was nervous. Like I didn't feel it. Like I didn't have like my heart pumping or anything. But it was obvious, like if you like actually listen to like the way I was talking. I was like talking in a very like unnatural way. And I feel like that also the girls also felt that to a degree. So like just pausing after the approach like really calmed me down. I was like, oh, and now like just say like in a calmer tone, like, oh, I liked you, like you look cute, and then
Yeah,
keep going
that's
from there.
I recently, a few months ago, so not too long ago, I did a podcast episode about six biggest reasons guys get blowouts, like 6 lessons, and one of them was like a very powerful tool. Was exactly what you're talking about. You just say hi, and then you make a big pause. You wait for her to fully stop. Maybe take out her earphones, pay full attention to you, and then you continue. And just adding the stop also makes the guy just pause and yeah. So that's a very good takeaway. What else did you learn?
The next thing is like stacking and like following up with storytelling. And there I had quite some issues in the beginning because like I tried to be very creative with it. Like I just came up with like random things I noticed, but I didn't really know how to follow up on them properly. And then I started to stumble upon my words and conversations got a bit weird because like I just ran out of things to say. So then you told me like just follow this structure, like take this specific stack, even though it makes no fucking sense to someone who looks like a business person to call them artistic.
Yeah. Doesn't have to always make sense.
And just like take this opener, only run with this, and then take like this storytelling structure, which you gave me with like the 3 things, and just try to like rinse and repeat until it sits, until I feel more confident just doing that, more comfortable doing it. And yeah, like just drilling that in for the first 2 days was very helpful. And that's why I feel like at the end of day 2, I was a lot more like confident and a lot smoother in like the conversation.
Louder as well, because on the first day I told you that you were speaking very quietly in the sets, whereas by the end of the second day we didn't have that problem. Only when you were insecure about something that happened in a set, there was something uncertain or whatever, you didn't know what to say, then the voice dropped. But other than that, the voice was much better because you knew what to say. Any other big lessons or?
For this part, I'd say like mainly these.
Okay.
Like...
So at the end of the second day, you have your lovely adventure with the girl. We talked about that, and then we meet again. We meet again for the third day of coaching, and we had a few day break between the second, I think 2 or 3 days.
2 days.
Yeah, because we did 20th and 21st we took off, and then 22nd we meet again for the third day of coaching. How did you feel after taking a few days off from Daygame mostly?
Like AA was completely bad. I'd say like day 3, the first session was quite bad actually. Like it was kind of back to square one. I was almost like similar to day 1. I forgot most of the things I've learned, despite like having that high from day 2 basically. Everything I learned up until that point just was lost.
Well,
so it wasn't lost, but like it was buried kind of. Like I had to like, after I needed like 5 approaches, I'd say, to get back into it. And then like the vibe started to improve slowly. And yeah, then at the end of day 3, it got very good actually. Like
so first session of day 3, started with, it was obvious your kind of AA is back, voice is worse, you're forgetting things. But then by the end of first session, kind of mid first session, as you said, around 5 sets, it took you around 5 sets to kind of get back on a horse, really get going again. And then by the end of first session, everything's already going pretty good. We took a break. We did the second session where you got 2 contacts on the first session and then 4 contacts on the second session. And as you said, by the end of day 3, like things are really starting to flow because we started to work on things, not just, copy paste shit. Hey, here is your opener, here is your stacking, here is this one story you can copy paste tell. We started working on a lot of things if thing A happens, you do this. If thing B happens, you do this. It was like a one big flow chart where you had so many things to remember. Yeah. So how was it to work with? How was it to try to remember so many things at the same time?
And obviously, it's like so much. Like it is overwhelming to a degree. Like I obviously didn't always remember to implement everything, but I was always able to remember some of it. Like in conversations, I just noticed like certain situations coming up, and I was like, oh, we just talked about this. This is exactly that situation. So now I know how to react to it. And I did that a few times, and it was always like quite well. And you also always gave the feedback on it, which I knew. I was like, oh, he'll like that I like implemented his advice right there. Like,
Yeah.
but
And it's okay to miss these things because there are so many things to remember. And knowing that you arrived with pretty much no prior day game experience, it's okay that you remember a lot of things, but then you forget some of them because you were remembering a lot of them. I was actually surprised about how many things you were able to remember. And then if you forgot something, sometimes like who cares? And then day 3 of coaching. What happened there?
like again, it was one of the last approaches we were wrapping up. Like the second session was, I think, the best one up until that point. Like I really felt my vibe was there. Like I felt like it was actually my natural personality coming out more. It wasn't just like me following a structure. And I don't really know why it was like kind of tucked away like the first 2 days. Yeah, it must have been some sort of anxiety behind it, or just like the situation I didn't feel comfortable in it. But yeah, at the end of day 3, like I actually felt like very comfortable, and like the sets were very good. Like most of them, like even if it didn't result in a contact, like girls were happy to chat with me. They were like quite happy that I stopped them. It was just nice conversations. And
before you go into the story, I just want to interrupt you a little bit because you said, hey, I don't know why the personality wasn't coming up on the first 2 days. I would just want to explain to the guys listening why it wasn't coming out in these days. Because when you're learning day game, when you're learning anything new, it's really hard. Your brain has to focus really, really hard. And then the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain which is, hey, like this is where these are things that you're working on right now. They're like, that's how brain focuses on these things, and it can only focus on very few things. And it's overwhelmed by, day 1, oh my God, everything's so stressful, I'm just learning to stop. And your prefrontal cortex is just overloaded. It has no capacity to do anything else than just few things really good. But then once you get really used to this, and once some things start working, the capacity in the prefrontal cortex, some things just go to other parts of brain because they're on autopilot. You don't have to think about them all the time. And when they are on autopilot, your brain has more capacity to start focusing on other things. And that's when you are able to become more creative because, hey, you don't have to think about what do I have to do now? You know that on autopilot, and then your brain just has this ability to, hey, like, oh, things start popping up in your mind, like some teases, some things you remember, maybe some structured things that you've forgotten, or, oh shit, I can also do this and this and that. So that's kind of why people get more creative later in day game. They just have put in enough volume. Things start to really make sense. And then, yes, so that's kind of, sorry. Yeah. Let's get back to the story.
Yeah, at the end of day 3, then I think it was the last approach. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like I approached this girl from Germany, and yeah, again, my vibe was very good at that point, and she was also like quite keen. Her circumstances also matched up for like an Insta date, which I didn't go on because we arranged something. What was the reasoning I didn't go on the Insta date?
No, the Insta date we wanted to go on a dinner on day 2 when you got the same delay.
Oh, I remember now. No, she had something else. That's why, like, we didn't go immediately on the Insta date. That's why, yeah. Because she still had a dinner first, but then after that, like, we went out again, like around 10 o'clock, 10:30. And then, yeah, one thing's led to another. And it was, again, from Daygame, an approach that led to something. And that was actually a very good connection as well. Like we had genuine chemistry, and yeah, I also met up with her later again, like after, when it wasn't like a day game day or like one of our coaching session days.
Yeah, on the next day. So By the way, how old was the first girl?
21?
21,
Yeah.
And the second one?
19.
19.
Yeah.
I thought she was 18. 19.
19.
Okay, yeah. So you see, because you were a bit worried. Oh yeah, tell guys about your beliefs about age. That's very interesting.
I think I'm quite old.
Yeah, guys
Like,
listening
yeah, like
are.
I'm okay. I'm 26, but I consider that very old. So I was like very insecure about it, or like telling people that, and I was even like lying about it to certain people. Like I was just like telling them like that I'm younger because I do look quite young, but yeah, then Robert was like, "No, like you are not a fucking young guy. You're not an old guy." Like,
No, I told you that.
like in university
I told you that
context,
people
yeah.
my age consider you a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, that was the adventure with day 3, and then we had the last day of coaching, day 4. We have planned, hey, let's do the second session. Let's go, have a dinner. I booked us a table. Let's sit down. Let's chat about how everything went. Let's do like a big debrief where I'm going to explain to you what you're good at, what you should focus on in the future. And then you ditched me. Why did you ditch me, motherfucker?
We never got our dinner. Like we had 2 planned, and like both of them did not come to fruition. But yeah, like it was like, what was it, the 6th approach or something?
6th approach,
Yeah. Like I approached this girl who was 18, and she was actually modeling as well on the side. And like from the start, she seemed interested, at least.
You remember how she looked when she walked down the street?
Yeah. Like she looked fabulous.
Summer
like,
dress, like high heels, very, very feminine, very beautiful.
Yeah. Like her eyes were insane. Like it was crazy. So that's why I was like, yeah, I have like a dinner planned. Like at first I even told her that, but then you were like, nah, fuck the dinner. Like try to like go on an Insta date with her. Like you should try to get something out of
Yeah,
that.
because I tried calling you like 5 times and I sent you messages. And I was like, hey, this motherfucker is not picking up. How do I fucking do this?
Because like my phone is always muted, so I don't hear. But like I saw you walking around with the phone on your hand. I was like, okay, I think you might be calling me. So that's why I thought of like taking out my phone at some point. Because like I was so focused on like talking with the girl. Because like I think we never stopped talking. Actually, like, that was pretty funny. Like it was just like a constant stream of like talking with her. But yeah, I would just hung out with her for like 4 hours almost. Like also pulled her back to my place, but didn't end up like going anywhere really. But still, like it was a cool adventure to have with a very hot chick, like very pretty. I think she's probably the prettiest girl I've been out with. Like, yeah.
Still a nice little make out, something light, nothing crazy, very good. So 2 lays, one more girl back at your apartment. So how do you feel about your day game right now after having gone through all of this?
Like right now I feel like I could conquer the world basically. But that's just a feeling right after like all like these cool adventures. I'm aware that like of the pitfalls that like can come, like especially the thing that I experienced after day 2, like the break from day 2 to day 3. Like the way I fell off after that was crazy for me. That's why like I'm quite aware like of what I should pay attention to, that like consistency, which is something you keep like drilling into me, is like very key. So yeah, I will try to keep at it. But I definitely think like Daygame is insane. Like now I truly believe in it. Like I think it's the way forward for me to like meet girls, like meet my dates. And yeah, eventually maybe even get into a relationship with one of these girls. But it's up to my choosing. I'm not like in the circumstances of like some algorithm of an app or whatever else.
Yep. Yeah, because you said the thing about consistency. So the way I think about coaching is, and I usually tell this to my students, that I don't care how you do during coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I care how you do 6 months after coaching. That's how I think about the ways I coach. So I kind of keep drilling things like, hey, dude, like this one I had, this is what's gonna happen. Like you need consistency. That's why it's good also to take a few days off between coaching days, because then the student sees that there is a drop. It's hard to like a is back and like this and that. And I think it's good that you didn't get delayed with the last girl, because you had to see that, hey, you know, not everyone is just, you know, just taking their sundresses off and just going for it. There's much left to learn, but it was like really, really cool experience. I have to tell you, if you had gotten the third lay, I think you would be the second student who ever gets 3 lays during coaching days. I don't remember, like maybe I had more, but I definitely remember one guy. That was in my easiest place for Daygame that I know, and he got 2 of those lays on one day also, which was fucking crazy. And it was New Year's Eve. We were celebrating New Year's Eve with like the buddies. We were all in Mexico together years ago, and while we were celebrating, he was getting like his second lay of the day. It was fucking sick. So okay, right now, over all of these days, what do you think what would you say are the 3 most important things you've learned about Daygame?
So the most important one, like that's actually the top thing for me, is like having this structured approach to it. Like especially in the beginning, I need to like remind myself to not get too creative with it, because like every time I did it, like even when my vibe was very good already, like when I wasn't like too worried about like approaching her or like doing the stop properly, like whenever I started to like kind of go off track a bit, like start to like do different things other than like the structured approach, I kind of started fumbling over my words. I started like being quieter again. I started just not knowing really what to say or what to follow up with. So that's like the big thing I learned of it. Like there is actually some structure to conversation, which is quite funny because like, obviously it's not all structured, but like to a degree you can structure it, and it helps a lot in the beginning stages of a conversation until the other person feels more comfortable, like being there, standing there with you. So that's like the biggest thing I learned from it, I'd say, like, because I don't think if I wouldn't have taken coaching, I would not have believed in that. I would have just been like, no, that's bullshit. Like, why the fuck would I like follow a script? Like, I talk to people, like, I don't need a script.
Yeah, I'm good at it. I'm good with people. Yeah, but yeah, this is what most people believe. And it is ridiculous how it changes from like black to white.
Yeah.
Yeah, this specific belief, it's incredible how powerful the change is usually. But by the way, just to clarify for the guys listening, it doesn't mean that you keep doing this forever and ever. I would say guys have to become very rigid with the structure until they get to like 8 Daygame lays, and then you can kind of chill out about it a little bit. You can kind of become a little bit more playful, and you introduce more and more stacks and more stories, and your game becomes kind of well-rounded. And the goal is to build game around your real personality, not just, you know, copy paste shit that everyone else does. And like you shouldn't go to Zloty Tarasy like in Poland, where everyone day games, and like call all girls Italian. That's retarded. That's what everyone does. You know, they go to the same place, they approach the same locations, they use the same lines. It's stupid. The goal is to build it around your personality. And we have a few guys who are in Warsaw right now, and the girls are telling them, they're asking, hey, what's happening around Zloty Tarasy and around the metro station? Because there are guys approaching chicks all the time. What are they doing? And these girls are asking this to my students after, you know, they rejected all of these guys. They banged my student. And they're like, hey, can you tell me what's happening there? And they're like, oh, I don't know. Like, I arrived. I don't know what's happening here. Or they've been out with the students. Yeah, that comment was from a girl who went out, I think, with a guy, but didn't sleep with him. Yeah, whatever. Went on a date at least. Yeah. Okay, so you learned that structure is important and it works.
Another thing is like just ways to like show my more attractive traits, I'd say. Like just mention those more. Like say, for example, that I travel a lot, or that, I have quite an interesting job, actually. Like I didn't really like mention that in the beginning of conversations because I felt like what's the point? Like I felt like it was kind of glazing, but like having ways to like implement that in like smart ways to show a girl. Like I think, for example, like the date I've been on yesterday, like with the model girl, like she was very interested because of that, like because I was doing something interesting. I travel a lot and I have an interesting job, and it's something that she resonated with because that's what she also wanted to do. And if I would have just said like, oh, I like study, she would have been like, oh, sure, like everyone studies something. So that was also another thing that helped me a lot, or was eye-opening to me, that I should actually talk more about these things. Like, even though I did, yeah, before that, I kind of just kept it for myself. I was like, no one really cares about it, but no, I should like try to show it. Like, that's what Daygame is about. You show your social market value to people as fast as possible. And then that way, yeah, you can show your more attractive traits.
I couldn't have said it better. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because you can't cheat the sexual marketplace. That is bullshit that people are selling on this industry. Yeah, if you're not bringing any value to the table, then well, dating is going to be really tough.
Mhm.
But everyone has, or a lot of people, not everyone, a lot of people have interesting things going on in their lives, and a day game, if done correctly, can be used to deliver your value, to show that hey, this is a cool thing. This is a cool thing. And that's why, for example, I told you when they ask you, what do you do? You were saying, I'm a student. And I told you, don't say that, because when you're saying I'm a student, you're basically saying I'm broke. I don't do shit. I don't work. I don't have anything interesting. I'm just a student. You know, it's like, don't do that. That's not demonstration of higher value. That's demonstration of lower value. Do the opposite. Show your kind of strong sides. Yeah. So very good takeaway as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was actually so important for me. And the last one was just consistency. We've touched on it a few times, but I know myself quite well. I do get quite lazy sometimes. So I will have to force myself to go out like after coaching. Like, especially, I'm good when someone's there like watching me. Obviously, I think most people will do well when there's someone literally behind them, like shouting at them, like, dude, you need to like go do it. But when you're back at home, who forces you to actually go to the gym? Who forces you to go
The
out to
weekly
day
check-in,
game?
motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what it's for then. But if you wouldn't have it though, like, I think
Yeah.
it's very easy to fall into bad habits
Yeah.
again. Because like, although I did it now like a week long, I can still feel it. Like, there is a hesitation in a way. Like, I need to properly go out and like only focus on that. I can't do it just like on the way to the grocery or whatever. Like, cause it just is like a mental overcoming. Like, it takes a lot of, yeah, mental stress out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Very, very, very powerful takeaways. Very nice. So going forward, you know, you're going back to Switzerland in 12, 13 hours, your flight. What are your dating plans after this? What's next?
So I think I will probably travel around a bit, like just go to different cities for a week and just try to stay consistent with the day game and just going out and try to reenact the things I've learned, try to implement them, and we will keep working together. So that's a big thing as well for me, because I feel like that's important, that I actually know, yeah, am I on the right path or not? And yeah, I think I have a very bright future ahead of me thanks to that. Like, I'm also considering going like a digital nomadic style, because like my job does allow it. So I could stay like 2 months in like certain locations and then move around like the entire world. I can work from anywhere I wanted to. So that's also like a consideration, but nothing really fixed yet. But for now, like the next few months is definitely just trying to like drill day game, like be consistent at it. I think consistency is like the most important thing. Like, that was the thing that made my other business successful, was just consistency and like just small incremental like improvements at the time. And then eventually it was very successful.
Cool. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Raymond, very much for doing this.
For sure.
If his story inspired you to get coaching, then you can find all the details about how coaching usually works, the approximate pricing, etc. and also schedule a call with me to talk details by clicking the link in description titled Daygame Coaching. If you're still unsure, then hop on a testing call where we will listen to a few of your sets together and I'll point out your biggest mistakes and tell you exactly how you can fix them over the next 50 approaches. I do up to 3 calls like this every month for an 80% discount for only €100. You can find all the details about this by clicking the link in description titled W Numbers and Dates. That's it for this time. See you in the next episode. Ciao guys.